Hey guys, I know a lot of you wonder what the new leveling system in Shadowlands is gonna be like, which is why I decided to make this video. I hope it will answer some of your questions, but if it doesn't and you're still left with some questions after watching it, then please feel free to comment below and I will do my best to answer your questions. Now without further ado, let's get into it. So the first major thing you will notice once you log on to the pre-patch of Shadowlands is A, the max level will be 60 once again, just like it was way back in vanilla, and B, all of your characters' levels will be squished down, which means that if for example your current level is at 120 in Battle for Azeroth, it will be 50 instead, and obviously the item levels and stats are gonna be squished down as well. So what do I think about the level squish? Well, personally I think this is a needed change. Just imagine someone who's never played the game before and who is asked to play with their friends. They will probably be like, well sure mate, but how many levels do I need to grind before we can play together? And just imagine if the friend's answer is, only 120. Doesn't even matter if the friends want to level together or not, it's still pretty time consuming. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure that this exact scenario is scaring off a lot of potential new players. And yeah, I know, we might call them noobs, plebs and whatnot, but let's just face it, we still need them. The more people play the game, the better the game actually is. At the end of the day, it's still an MMO, and we need new players, and I'm sure that this level squish will attract them. So yeah guys, for me this is definitely a welcome change. So a logical next question that you might have is, how long will it actually take to level between 1 to 50? And the answer to that is, it's about 60 to 70% faster if we compare it to Battle for Azeroth, at least according to some players. And according to Blizzard themselves, it should be twice as fast, so not too bad, and definitely much faster than what it currently is. Now, because the leveling is so much faster, they've also decided to remove all Heirloom experience bonuses, but before you freak out, please hear me out. Instead of the experience bonuses, they are adding some pretty cool set bonuses instead. So for example, the 2 set bonus will reduce your rested experience consumed by 30%. The 3 set bonus will increase your out of combat regen in the outdoors, normal dungeons and in battlegrounds. The 4 set bonus will grant you a level trigger burst of knowledge, which will deal holy damage to all nearby enemies and grant you 40% primary stats for 2 minutes, and if you defeat additional enemies this effect extends up to 2 additional minutes. And finally the 6 set bonus reduces your rested experience consumed by an additional 30%. So yeah guys, these new set bonuses are pretty awesome, and to be honest I'm happy that they decided to do something else, because let's face it, we've spent a lot of gold and a lot of time getting these heirloom pieces, so it's good that they're adding something else. But anyways, let's move on and talk about the difference between new and veteran players of the game. Now when it comes to leveling, there actually is a difference between new players and veterans. For example, new players will have to complete Exiles Reach between level 1 and 10 before venturing into Battle for Azeroth between 10 and 50, whether you like it or not. So as a new player, you don't really have a choice and you're kinda forced to play through Battle for Azeroth, whereas veteran players can choose among 7 different expansions to level in. But what exactly is considered to be a veteran player? Well, according to what I've been able to gather, a veteran player means that you have leveled at least 1 character in the past. And yes, I know it's kinda vague, but I think this means that you have leveled at least 1 character to level 120, because the story in Battle for Azeroth leads into Shadowlands, and Blizzard forcing new players to play through Battle for Azeroth kinda tells me that a veteran player must mean that you have at least 1 character at level 120 or 60 in Shadowlands, but I might be wrong. Now as for the allied races, they will begin their journey at level 10, and the non-allied races such as a Death Knight or a Demon Hunter, they will begin their journey at level 8 and play through their own starting experience before moving on around level 10. But anyways, let's continue and talk a bit about what Exiles Reach is all about. Exiles Reach is the brand new player experience, where new players will learn a variety of different skills that they will need throughout the game. You'll be able to learn the fundamentals of the game such as looting and how to use your class skills in incredibly unique ways. For example, paladins will encounter a ghost of a former paladin who is willing to teach them Divine Shield. Likewise, hunters will learn how to tame and stable their pets. So yeah, learning the fundamentals of the game will actually be part of the story in a fun and unique way. Now basically the TDLR of the story of Exiles Reach is that an expedition has gone missing and you have been called to be part of the new crew to discover what has happened to that expedition. And at the end of this new player experience, you will even face a 2-boss mini dungeon, which is pretty awesome, because new players will get a taste of what a dungeon in WoW could look like. Now one of the things that I personally love about Exiles Reach is that every single race, as long as you're on the same faction, will start at the exact same place. This means you don't have to travel across Azeroth to play with one of your friends. But anyways, let's move on. So as I mentioned, veteran players will have more option compared to brand new players. You can either choose to play through Exiles Reach or choose to play through one of the all starting zones. Now after reaching level 10, you can talk to Chromie, who's located in Stonewind if you're playing as an alliance, or in Ogrimmar if you're playing as a horde. Upon talking to Chromie, she will then offer you to choose one of the 7 expansions, where you will be able to experience the full story while leveling from level 10 to 50 before venturing into the Shadowlands. But anyways, let's move on and talk a little bit about when you'll be able to learn the different writing skills. The first writing skill, Apprentice Writing, you'll be able to learn at level 10. At level 20 you'll be able to learn Journeyman's Writing, which will increase your mount speed. At level 30 you will finally be able to learn Expert Writing and use your flying mounts. And lastly we have Master Writing, which you'll be able to learn at level 40. Now some of you might have noticed that I didn't mention Artisan Writing, and that's because they've decided to completely remove it from the game. Now another thing they've decided to completely remove from the game are the Pathfinder requirements on Draenor and on the Broken Isles. Sadly they're not gonna remove the requirements from Battle for Azeroth, which is kinda a bummer. But anyways, let's move on to the last thing I'm gonna talk about, which are the dungeons. So one of the things that I'm pretty unhappy with is how the dungeons are gonna work. So let's say you've picked Wrath of the Lich King as one of the expansions that you wanna play through. Well, this means that you will only be able to queue up for Wrath of the Lich King dungeons. And this is pretty bad. I mean, WoW has so many dungeons, and with the scaling, the amount of content we're gonna lose out on is enormous. And let's be honest guys, if you have the ability to pick which expansion you want to play through, you should also be able to pick what dungeon you want to do. So hopefully this is something they will reconsider. But anyways guys, this was a quick rundown of the new leveling system in Shadowlands. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.